All right, let's hear some theories about why this might be happening.
Welcome to Question Entertainment. I'm Christopher Millette.
And I'm Emily Meehan. And today we'll be reviewing...
The Happening is M. Night Shyamalan's 8th full-length feature, starring Mark Wahlberg as a high school teacher dealing with a phenomenon throughout Philadelphia. It appears that something is occurring that causes people to give up their ability to protect themselves and actually harm themselves instead. How was it?
It wasn't what I expected. I really like M. Night Shyamalan. I'm not, the fan that you are, and probably won't be able to tell you where he was born and what he was wearing when he made the movie and what Humphrey Bogart has to do with it. But I actually liked it, and maybe it's because I was going in with super low expectations because I heard really bad things from it. But I heard there was like a big build-up and it's his first-star movie, and so I was expecting something different, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. Has Mark Wahlberg in it, or as I like to call him, Macky Mac and the Funky Bunch, right? So,
I think he's trying to get over that.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. But now he's actually a pretty serious actor. And
yes.
He's pretty well respected, which wouldn't have called that.
He was excellent in this.
And he was excellent. But I think what I liked the most was his character was a little weird, because you're used to seeing Mark Wahlberg like, and he was so not. He was corny almost, like this really sweet, hey. Like an innocent Dumbo, kind of. Not dumb, but innocent. And kind of...
Naive.
Naive, thank you, naive. And you're so not used to seeing Mark Wahlberg that way. Like, first you're like, oh, that's weird. And you think maybe he's doing something wrong, he's making a mistake, and you're like, whoa. And then you warm up to him, he's this nice, naive guy who loves his wife, who potentially just doesn't love him back. And, she's like the bad guy, and he's this really sweet guy, and he's a good friend, and he likes his little high school students, and he's so sweet, and he has these classically hysterical, I thought they were hysterical moments, when he's talking to the plastic plant, and he's, hey, how you doing? And he's like, and all of a sudden he realizes he's talking to a plastic plant.
I think my favorite part in the whole movie is him discussing how he nearly bought cough medicine to talk to the girl.
Thank you, that is...
When he starts saying, hey, it's like $6 and I didn't even have a cough. Like, I can't deliver the line.
And then when she finally says to him, is that true? He's like, no. It wasn't even true.
And then she says, thank you. And I like...
It was sweet.
That was a great moment in every way.
Those moments were so funny. And then that was balanced, I felt, by the fact that there were those suspenseful moments where... Maybe for someone who's used to like hardcore horror stuff, it wasn't scary. I don't like horror movies. In fact, I don't like scary movies. And one of the things I love about Shyamalan is I can get scared, but I don't have nightmares.
Yes.
And I can get scared, but it's just enough, And so I was worried that because it was R, it would be worse. And it was a little yucky. Some of the ways people killed themselves was kind of yucky, but it was still done in a Shyamalan way, not like a Freddy Krueger way. So you go from laughing at Mark Wahlberg, and then in the next scene,
someone's dying,
and you're waiting for it, and you're waiting, So
yes.
That's why I don't get why you didn't like it.
I did not like this movie at all, and here's the deal. This was not an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I realize he did it, but everything I liked about M. Night Shyamalan wasn't there. And the more I think about it, maybe now that I know what it is, I could go back and watch it and be okay with it, but I still don't think I would like it. At first, we have the construction workers falling off the building and the girl taking the thing out of her hair and shoving it through her neck.
Yeah, that was gross.
Those were gross and they were shocking, and you wondered, ooh, what was going to happen? But once it's established that these people just kill themselves, watching the lion tamer have the lions rip his own arms off, I was laughing. Like, I'm sorry, it reminded me of Saturday Night Live with Dan Aykroyd playing Julia Child, cutting himself and blood splurting everywhere. It was ridiculous.
I don't think it was scary, but I didn't think it was funny.
The death scenes, I thought, became stupid after a while. Literally, Mark Wahlberg is running away from grass.
Okay, the actual monster being what it was silly. It's a shame that with what I thought was well-written dialogue anyways.
Yes.
And good acting, and this funny Mark Wahlberg character set against the suspense. It's a shame that the monster was planned.
There were great ideas here, But beyond this, I kept thinking back to actually the special features in Unbreakable, where M. Night Shyamalan was showing scenes he cut. And he's saying, I cut this scene because though it's a gorgeous scene, and it was, though it's a gorgeous scene and it's great to watch, it didn't progress the story at all. This movie is filled with scenes that have nothing to do with anything. Characters that just don't matter. Death after death, and they're meaningless because we don't know these characters. Mark Wahlberg doesn't die. There, I've ruined the movie for you. There's only twice that we watch a character die who we care at all about. And only once that we really care about them, the other one we've just met before. We get some scenes with Mark Wahlberg almost going somewhere, followed by random deaths of random people. Who cares? He introduces characters to come, say something, and die. I just didn't like it. There were so many scenes that...
I know. I guess I took that to mean it wasn't really about the monster and the death. It was about these two people. Because that happens all around them. And the only people you know or care about are Mark Wahlberg and his wife. And you care about that, and you care about that story. So it is. It's a lot of death going on. But it's not about that. To me, what was memorable about that story was Mark Wahlberg and his wife.
See, I didn't think they went far enough for that to be what the movie was about. Like, the movie Signs is like that. We've got aliens coming, but really it's about this family and their faith. Mm-hmm. This felt like a parody. It turns out that, yes, we should all recycle, but even with that, it's not like we saw somebody throw their Coke can on the ground and then buy gas for their Hummer, and then they got killed.
I guess for me, the randomness comes down to the fact that it wasn't about the monster.
Everything I like about an M. Night Shyamalan movie seemed like it was trashed in this movie.
I thought it was an average movie, and perhaps you just have really high standards for M. Night Shyamalan. What about spiritual issues?
There's some good messages about marriage and family, and there's a redundant message about recycling and taking care of the earth.
It does refer to evolution.
Oh, yes,
the plants have evolved to protect themselves.
Not only is the cultural assumption there, it actually did happen. Which, once again, from a Christian perspective, I would argue that even that is not evolution, it's speciation. The plant is still a plant, it's just developed something new.
Yeah, it's what I would... adaptation.
Yes, they adapted.
The Bible says God created everything in its kind. Adaptation is adapting within your kind.
And so,
switching from one kind to another.
It's not like the tree became a person and grabbed a knife and killed people.
And the reality is, we do know that plants and animals change.
Yes.
According to their environment. We can't deny that. We see it.
But they do attribute this to the process of evolution.
Right, and they call it evolution.
Yes. There is a character who is shown to be very religious at the end. She has Jesus stuff all over her house, and she's the crazy old lady. And on top of that, she's Christianized. As far as in the movie, I just saw it as wacko religious woman. I can see where people could say, oh, she's wacko because she's religious, and that was commentary on religion.
I didn't. I just thought wacko lady takes her religion wacko too.
Yes.
Because wacko does is wacko
yes.
is.
And unfortunately, which I don't think this came across, but in one of the interviews on the DVD, the actress actually says that that's supposed to make her even more sad because, look, this woman has a faith that could heal her and hasn't allowed it to. Mm-hmm. But I didn't get that at all.
No. Yeah, it's not that deep.
So there is that. Other than that, I'm just disappointed because almost every other M. Night Shyamalan movie at some level is a search for God. So a search for recycling plants really bummed me out. What's your recommendation?
I thought it was worth a rental. I laughed. I sat there in suspense, and I was a little smack.
I would still say it is the worst thing M. Night Shyamalan has done.
Still better than half the movies
better
out
than
there.
Most of the movies you could rent. You could do much, much worse.
True.
But you have 6 of his other movies available in the U.S. I think you could do better at least 6 times prior to this.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt when you have things to watch.
Yeah.
On YouTube, please click subscribe. On our blog, please click the RSS feed.
Thanks for watching.
Science will come up with some reason to put in the books. But in the end, it'll be just a theory.